Hey, what up, everybody? Stevie Breach coming to you here today. We're going to be chit-chatting a little bit on my lunch as we're sitting here waiting for the time to TikTok before I can go back and get some more work done for the day. Basically, the biggest thing that I saw out there on the wire basically was about The Rock and WrestleMania 31. We've been honestly very lucky to have Rock return and grace us with his presence. WrestleMania 27, he came back as the guest host, sort of building a lot of fire for that WrestleMania, wanting to see John Cena and The Rock interact, finally seeing when were they finally going to be able to throw down. The Miz just was sort of there throughout the whole thing. Of course, WrestleMania 28 was built all around Rock versus Cena. WrestleMania 29, we saw Rock return one more time, this time as the WWE Champion, dropping the title over to John Cena, sort of passing the torch, you can sort of say, in a way. I always looked at that as sort of like the way they shot that after it was all said and done. That was going to be The Rock's last match, but the rumors are still going strong. Of course, last year, WrestleMania 30, The Rock did not have a match, but he was there, came down for the opening segment with Hogan and Austin, sort of having the the biggest faces out of all of professional wrestling right there. Three guys that you would build your Mount Rushmore around, and then you'd have to sit there and debate about who the last guy is going to be, whether if it's a guy like Michaels, Bret Hart, John Cena. Who's that last guy that's going to fill that face in? Maybe you give it to one of the older names. Harley Race, Ric Flair, Bruno Sammartino. That last one's going to be definitely hard to do, but I think everybody's going to have those guys there. But it seems that they've had a lot of irons in the fire going for WrestleMania rumors for The Rock this year. Of course, last year, The Rock took to his Twitter account saying that basically he wasn't going to be able to have a deal done where he was going to be able to wrestle at WrestleMania 30. He said that the plan was to have a match against Brock Lesnar, and then he would love to have that match happen at WrestleMania 31 with Brock being the champion. I don't really see The Rock having a return and coming in and winning the Royal Rumble to give him that shot at Brock Lesnar, unless we have some sort of a title change between now and then, whether if Cena beats him at the Rumble, that would be huge. If that match does happen, Cena, of course, has to beat Seth Rollins to still be #1 contender at TLC in order to go all the way on to facing Brock at the Royal Rumble. If that match even happens, maybe Brock just never shows back up again. I'm not 100% sure. But, there was also the rumor of The Rock versus Rusev after his Monday Night Raw appearance. I always sort of looked at that as I didn't know if Rusev was a guy that Rock would want to get in to the ring with at WWE. It would be an awesome way for The Rock to sort of give somebody a rub like that, but I don't really think that Rusev is a guy. He's not really charismatic. He's not going to have a whole lot of promos. Even his girl that goes out there and talks for him, she's not even really 100%. She's got the Russian accent that goes for it. I mean, if The Rock's going to come back and have a WrestleMania, program with somebody, it's going to be somebody that he can show off their strengths. I think the promos going back and forth have been the highlight of his WrestleMania things with Cena versus Rock. Wanting to see how far these guys can go back and forth at each other, or if it was with the rap and rock concert, whatever the hell that thing was called, or Rock was throwing the Cena crap off of the bridge in Boston, doing the Boston Tea Party gimmick, and Cena came out there and he did the rap, I can't remember what the big thing was. I listened to it the other day and I laughed my ass off. It's the first time I'd probably heard it in 2 years. There was the thing where stick with Dwayne because Rock doesn't have a Johnson, or I don't know, everybody popped for that. But I just don't see the Rusev match as high on the priority list for WWE or for The Rock to really make that happen. I think that it's going to be a guy that can beat the hell out of The Rock, and The Rock can come from behind and beat him. But then again, you're left with Rusev and his undefeated streak, and you don't really have anywhere to build from there, seeing how Rock's not going to be there for Extreme Rules or SummerSlam or anything from then on. It's just, you got Rusev, he's got a loss, and now what's he matter? And then, of course, everybody knows from when he made his return to Monday Night Raw, they filmed the segment with him and Triple H when they were, getting ready to go out to eat, when they basically kept on, hiring the bar against each other, I guess you can say, during their promo, basically saying that I could beat you, I beat you, and then like if we got in the ring one more time, what would happen? And they sort of were huffing and puffing, and Stephanie came in thinking that people were booking them to go into WrestleMania 31. Some people saw the promo of saying there would be 100,000 fans there. They're talking about WrestleMania 32, somewhere down the road. But The Rock just released a San Andreas commercial for his new movie. I guess you call it a promo, or you call it a whatever the hell they call them. They're on the end of DVDs all the damn time. Trailers. He's been named. He's going to be in a few movies. Of course, Fast 7 is going to be coming out, I believe, the week after WrestleMania, which is going to be a peak time for him to be going out there on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and all other shows like that. So his schedule is going to be pretty well booked up. So it seems if WWE is sort of moving on, and you can see from the Survivor Series main event, it looks like they're going to be going with Sting versus Triple H at WrestleMania. You can still hold on to hope that maybe Brock Lesnar loses the title. Maybe The Rock will come in and have a non-title match with Brock, and they can sort of have that match, and when Brock leaves, he can go off to UFC, and from there on, Rusev is a guy that doesn't really have a match if he doesn't have anything with Rock. But then again, with guys, like, people ask me, like, well, what is a guy like Bray Wyatt going to do at WrestleMania? What is a guy like Dean Ambrose? What are these matches going to be? Where do you see them going down? I like to dream about those big main event guys, but everybody that's sort of in the mid-card, I just sort of let those things fall into place and see what happens, because sometimes you dream up big situations for them, and nothing really even comes out, and then you're just sort of like, they dropped the ball on this guy. So we're going to have to see. With Rusev in his first WrestleMania, he was at the Rumble. I don't remember when he debuted. It was a long time before he came back. I'm pretty sure he wasn't at WrestleMania. I don't think he was in that Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I think I'm remembering him in the Royal Rumble when he came out and he debuted. He didn't even have Lana yet. But we'll have to see what goes on. But as of right now, the big rumor is that Rock's not going to be a part of WrestleMania 31. That's going to be a little bit of a downer. But WWE is WWE, and they're going to pick themselves up, and they'll move on. They've still got Brock Lesnar for one more big show. John Cena, he's always going to be there until his legs fall off. And they've got a good job of really starting to create some stars. Roman Reigns winning Superstar of the Year. Of course, you've got Dean Ambrose. You've got Seth Rollins, all from The Shield. They booked them right, and they made them look like they're moving in the right direction. There might be a little bit of a riot if it ends up being Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, and Roman wins. It seems like that's something that not a lot of people want to happen, but we'll see. But, man, that Rock and Triple H match is one that I was really holding on to. I love that rivalry. They just kept on pushing each other. They both debuted in WWE about the same time. They both were in the Intercontinental Championship hunt for the longest time. And then once, Rock finally got put up to the main event, Triple H rise to the main event. And then you got all those matches from around 2000 when they kept on going at each other. And then, of course, Rock's, I don't want to say it was the last match, but I remember the last time they had a title match, and it was on Monday Night Raw. That was a fun one. It looked like Rock was going to win the championship that night. It ended up being the last time they ever had a match together. That had been about 2002. That was a fun one if you remember it. I have to look that one up because I haven't seen that in a good little while. Hopefully it's on the network. I'll be able to find it on YouTube. But we're going to have to see what's going on with The Rock. Hopefully we get that Brock match. But then again, Cena has to win. And if Cena wins, people may riot from that anyways. You can't seem like you get it to a point where everybody's happy.